Secondary school was one of the most miserable times of my life. This is how I show up 95% of the time. Happy, enthusiastic, golf crazy. But what most of you don't know about me is that I was bullied in my secondary school days. It wasn't Instagram or TikTok back then. It was before cyberbullying was even a word. And if it felt that bad back then, I can't even imagine what it's like for youth today. Hey friends, my name is Jamie and today I'm doing something a little different on the channel. I want to talk about something serious, something that's shaped who I am, something that I know still affects a lot of young people today, and that's cyberbullying. When I was growing up, I was a pretty lonely kid. All I wanted was love and acceptance. My dog Bingo was my best friend, and that companionship mattered, but it still wasn't the same as being understood by people. In school, I felt stupid. I struggled with my studies, and my friends were in the top classes. I was in the average EM2 stream. The only thing I was good at was basketball, but that didn't really count. Not in a way that made me feel seen anyway. But things got even more complicated when I started realizing that I was different. And yeah, that's when things got really bad. In secondary school, I got bullied hard, especially by my basketball teammates. They cyberbullied me, left anonymous messages on my blog, said really mean and hurtful things that took me a long time to get over, ostracized me and just made me feel left out. There was one girl who started it. I still don't know why. But I remember when I realized that the others had taken her side. They made me hate the sport that I loved. And that's why till this day, I still avoid group sports and prefer individual sports, like golf. When I was studying overseas, I finally managed to fit in a group that accepted me. But along the way, I found myself doing the very thing that once hurt me. There was a guy I actually got along with. Kind, easygoing, but because the group didn't like him, I quietly followed their opinion. I took sides, I distanced myself, and I became complicit. I still just wanted to be liked, to feel like I belonged. And years later, when my godsis told me how I had treated him, I felt this deep guilt. I couldn't believe that I did the same thing to someone else. And ironically, I knew how bad that felt. Yet, I still did it.
I realized something after that. You can be both. You can be someone who was bullied and still end up being a bully to someone else. I didn't do it on purpose, but I still hurt someone. Upon reflection, it made me look at myself very differently. And then I realized that there's this pattern.
These patterns don't just happen in school. They follow us into adulthood, into the workforce. And now, they're everywhere, especially online. That was then. But today, it's worse. Most creators I know have experienced some form of online hate. According to the MDDI online safety poll in 2024, 74% of people in Singapore said they've encountered harmful online content, and most don't even bother to report it. 61% just ignores it, either because they think nothing will change or just because they've gotten used to it. And for teens, it's even more brutal. In the Microsoft Global Online Safety Survey in 2025, cyberbullying was named the #1 online concern among Singaporean teens aged 13 to 17, even higher than the global average. And honestly, I kind of get it. Because when you look like me, people just see your face and decide you're too much, too boyish, too weird, too different. I get comments like Aqua, and honestly, the question I get asked the most is, are you a boy or a girl? My content isn't about gender or sexuality, but they just keep coming. And that's the scary part. You don't even have to do anything to be a target. The effects go deeper than people realize. According to this survey, 2 in 5 survivors said that the experience left them with severe psychological impacts, trauma, depression, even suicidal thoughts. And that's what this space can do to people. But it made me even think deeper. Why do people act this way? Why are we so quick to tear others down? Sometimes it's jealousy, sometimes it's fear, but more often than not, it's pain. People who are hurting often don't know how to process that hurt, so they project, they lash out, especially online where it feels safe to be anonymous. It doesn't excuse their actions, but it does help us understand that, because at the end of the day, everyone wants to be seen and everyone wants to be loved. And if we don't teach people how to regulate those emotions, we get cycles of hate. So back in my time, we had this thing called moral education, Hao Gong Ming. And yes, I remember the textbook. It's always about doing the right thing. Punctuality, respect, responsibility. But today, what I think we need in schools is emotional education. Not just how to behave, but how to feel. How do you express hurt without hurting others? Parents, teachers, mentors, we all have a part to play. And honestly, most of us never got those tools growing up. We were told to suppress, not express. To judge difference, not embrace it. And that gets passed down. But it doesn't have to stay that way. We can create kinder communities, and it starts with us. I know therapy changed my life. Psychotherapy helped me face my demons, helped me become a better version of myself. Still a work in progress, and I probably always will be. But I know so many people who are still hesitant to see a therapist because of the stigma, and I hope that we will be able to continue efforts to normalize it so that people can benefit from it. I'm also really grateful for the efforts the community is putting in. One person who's doing important work in the space is my good friend Ellie, the emotions wizard. Ellie teaches emotional mastery through fiction and fandoms. Instead of just teaching emotions from theory or textbooks, she uses stories we already love. Take me for example. I've always loved Star Wars, particularly Anakin. Ellie uses those same characters from stories and fandoms you love. She incorporates journaling and creative exercises to help you think deeper. Why do I resonate with this character so much? What do I see in them that mirrors my own struggle? And through that reflection, bit by bit, you begin to heal. You begin to understand your emotions, not from shame, but with compassion. It's imaginative, deeply grounding, and uniquely powerful, especially for youths who don't feel seen by the traditional systems. And it meets them where they already are, in the stories they love. If what I shared with you about Ellie's work resonated with you, you can go check out all the cool stuff she's doing, and the link will be in the description below. So if you've ever been bullied, I want you to know that it gets better. You're not alone, your pain is valid, and you didn't deserve it. And if you've ever been a bully, maybe without even realizing it, this is your chance to reflect, to grow, to interrupt the cycle. If you're a parent, a teacher, or someone who cares, please remember, kids don't become bullies, they learn it. Let's raise a generation that learns something different. Compassion, courage, and how to show up for each other even when it's hard. Today, I'm a happy creator, surrounded by people who love me for who I am, for the things that once made me feel like I didn't belong. And that's healing, that's growth. And it's possible for anyone. Some of the best wisdom I've ever heard comes from the 100-acre wood, from Piglet, of all people, or animals. The things that make me different are the things that make me me. So if you're going through something hard, I hope you hold on to that. Because your difference, it's not your flaw, it's your superpower. And I'm living proof of that. If you or someone you know is struggling, here are 2 trusted support resources in Singapore you can turn to. She Cares at SCWO, a one-stop center for anyone facing online harm, including cyberbullying, harassment, stalking, or unwanted image sharing. The other one is Touch Cyber Wellness. They support education for youth, families, and schools on navigating digital life safely. Don't forget that YouTube actually has tools to help shape your experience online. You can block users, filter comments, report harmful content, or restrict interactions if someone crosses the line. These tools exist to help us protect our spaces, and I really encourage you to use them. Lastly, if you're a creator like me, use your voice, tell your story, because it matters more than you know. I'll see you all in the next one.